strengths and weaknesses in the interviews. This is often a question in the discussion among defense aspirants. So students, I'm going to share some effective techniques that you can follow to reply your strengths and weaknesses. At first, I would like to discuss why this question is asked. This question is asked to know how you define yourself and the awareness that you keep for yourself, your presentation part. Now often when it comes to defining strengths, students select that strength which has many cross questions. Due to those cross questions, sometimes they are not able to prove their point. Here, you should understand strength is something that gives you confidence, that makes you always motivated at your workplace, and that makes you the right candidate for the organization. That is what your strength is. So you should mention that strength that gives you a favorable response, that defines your candidature well, and that adds on to your profile. Whereas weakness is not the negative point. This is the area of improvement where you have to work for your further upgradation. Now many times students think that weakness is a negative point, and while defining weaknesses, they define such weaknesses which are out of expectations. A student saying that my mathematics is weak in the interview doesn't make any sense, because interview is being conducted to assess the personality, not to assess your command on mathematics. A student saying that his eyesight is weak doesn't make any sense, reason being that's a part of medical assessment. A student saying that somewhere he has weakness in sports activities, so this is to be taken as the area of upgradation, area of improvement and further plans. Here, this attitude, this way of thinking will definitely give you a right platform to answer this question. Now talking about different weaknesses that you can definitely answer, and that may give you an extra edge, that may make your answer favorable for you. If you say, I need to work more on my sports activities, that is somewhere an area of upgradation where you wish to have excellence. The way you define it, that definitely adds on some points to your candidature, whereas taking it in negative direction, that doesn't make any sense, and you fail to utilize the opportunity that is given in the form of a question in your interview aspects. Talking about strengths, be honest, truthful and sincere in this. Actually that the strong points that you really realize while when you see yourself in your day-to-day activities, that point you should mention. A strength, as I said, that gives you motivation, that makes you comfortable with each situation, that can be your strength. So coming to the examples of strength, you can say you can adjust with situation easily. You can bring all those things in yourself that are required to adjust with a certain situation or with a person, that can be your strength. Adjusting nature is expected in most of the organizations. So definitely that's your good strength. You may define it. Further point, you may say you are empathetic in nature. You consider yourself in others' place and you understand their abilities as well as their weaknesses, so you have better understanding, that can be your strength. You may say you find your communication skills as your strength, because you are able to communicate your messages very well. You are able to convince others. That is also expected point in most of the interviews, that a candidate must be good at communication skills. You may say you are good at negotiation. Whatever points you feel, you put your 100% efforts to convince that. So again, negotiation can be a strength. Further, other points are there. Result orientation can be your strength. Whatever assignment is given to you, you do your 100% efforts to achieve the results. And further, you can say motivating others is my strength. Now, all these examples that I have given, they should be there in your practical life, and you should be able to give some instances with your practical life exposure. That gives the better definition to your strength. When we make students practice, we consider these things very well. What we do, we have further questionnaire. So with the practice of mock interviews, with the practice of answers, a student gets to know what can be the further questions which can be asked in strengths and weaknesses. You must have understood so far that saying a certain point is not the complete answer. Here you need to convince, here you need to give proper reply. So all the cross questions that come when you define your strength or weakness, you must have ability to answer, you must have ability to prove those points, and one can prove these points when a person has practically realized these points in his life. So this is my suggestion that all those points that you mention in your strengths and weaknesses, you should visualize them, realize them, analyze them, and then you finalize. Before finalizing, if you do not analyze or realize, obviously you will have less content to prove that particular point. So students, keep preparing, keep practicing, and stay tuned with us for more practice sessions. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
अगर आपने सेंचुरियन डिफेंस एकेडमी के यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो अभी सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन दबाएं ताकि लेटेस्ट नोटिफिकेशंस आपके पास में सबसे पहले पहुंचे।